Stop hanging up on scammers. If you want them to stop calling you, you need to talk to them more. You pick up the phone. You say, hello. And what do you hear? You hear a computer sound. Then a strange voice starts talking. It is a scammer, or a telemarketer. How does that make you feel? Frustrated, angry, annoyed. Many people face this situation every single day. In fact, some people get 10, 15, or even 20 spam calls a day. It feels like an endless attack. It destroys your focus. It wastes your energy. So what do you usually do? Most people do one of two things. First, they might just hang up the phone immediately. Second, they might get angry. They might yell at the caller and say, "Stop calling me." But let me ask you a question. Does that work? No, it does not. If you yell at them, they do not care. They have no feelings. If you just hang up, their computer system will simply put your number back on the list. They will call you again tomorrow, or even later today. So, what is the solution? Today we are going to share a very clever, very satisfying life pro tip. It is a method from a popular internet community. This method does not require you to get angry. In fact, it turns a bad situation into a very funny game. The secret is simple. You must intentionally waste as much of their time as possible. To understand why this method works, we need to understand how scammers work. Scammers do not view you as a human being. To them you are just a number. Their business model is based on speed. They want to talk to as many people as possible, as fast as possible. They are looking for people who are easy to trick. If you are not easy to trick, they want to know immediately. They want to hang up and move to the next person. Time is their most valuable resource. Every minute they spend talking to you is a minute they are losing money. Therefore, if you want to punish a scammer, do not scream, do not argue, just waste their time. When you waste their time, they get legitimately angry. Let's look at a real example of how to do this perfectly. Let us look at a story shared by an internet user. This user receives many unknown calls because of his job. He cannot ignore them. So, he created a script designed to induce maximum frustration. One afternoon his phone rings. He answers. Hello? The caller is a man named Steve. Steve represents a fake financial company. Let's call it bullshit funding. Steve speaks very quickly. He has a script. Hi Jim, how are you doing today? This is Steve from Bullshit Funding. Don't worry, this is not a loan call. We are a financial group specialized in cash advances for businesses like yours. Tell me, Jim, do you have a credit score over 640? Steve says all of this in one breath. It is a mouthful of words. He is waiting for Jim to say yes or no. But Jim does not say yes. Jim does not say no. Instead, Jim uses the magic weapon. Jim speaks in a calm, slightly confused voice. Sorry, who is this? Now, think about Steve. Steve is sitting in a crowded room. He has to repeat his words. He takes a deep breath and says, "This is Steve with Bullshit Funding. We do cash advances for businesses. Do you have a credit score over 6? Jim waits. He creates a long, quiet pause on the phone. Silence. Then, Jim speaks again. He sounds very polite, but very distant. Sorry, my cell phone service is not very great here. Who did you say this was? Can you imagine Steve's face? Steve is starting to lose his patience. His voice becomes louder and a bit faster. This is Steve, with Bullshit Funding. This is not a loan call. We do cash advances. Is your credit score over 6? Jim waits again. Another long pause. This silence is beautiful. It forces the scammer to wait. Sorry, my service is so bad in this area. Did you say your name was Chris? Now Steve is getting truly angry. He is losing his mind. He yells into the microphone. This is Steve, with Bullshit Funding. Do you have a credit score over 6? Ah, hi Chris. Can you tell me what bank you are calling from? No, it is Steve. I am with Bullshit Funding. We are a company giving loans to businesses. Is your credit score over 640? Ah, got it. BS Funding. Sorry Steve, my phone is total junk in this area. How can I help you today? We give loans to businesses. Is your credit score over 6? And then, Jim delivers the final blow. He pauses, and asks softly, sorry, who is this? What happens next? Steve realizes the truth. He realizes he is not the one playing the game. He is the one being played. Steve screams an angry curse word, and slams the phone down. Click, the call ends. Jim sits at his desk and laughs. He did not lose his temper. He did not feel stressed. Instead he had a wonderful entertaining moment. He stole 10 minutes of the scammer's time. Why is this method so successful? Because it targets the scammer's ego and energy. There are other ways to do this too. Another person shared a different story. A scammer called him and said, "Good morning, sir. I am calling from Microsoft Security. We detected a virus on your computer. The man did not argue. He did not explain that he uses a Mac. He did not say that Microsoft does not call people. He simply said three words. No, you're not. The scammer stopped. He was completely shocked by the direct honesty. He became incredibly mad because his script was completely destroyed. When you say something simple, calm and repetitive, you take away their power. You control the conversation. The next time your phone rings, and it is an annoying scammer, do not let them ruin your day. Do not feel like a victim. Change your mindset. View it as an opportunity. View it as a free comedy show. You can pretend you cannot hear them. You can ask them to repeat their name 5 times. You can pretend to be an old grandfather who does not know what a computer is. Every second you keep them on the line is a second they cannot use to steal money from an innocent elderly person. You are not just protecting yourself, you are doing a good deed for society. The frustration in their voice is worth the distraction. Thank you for listening to this episode of Slow English. What is your favorite way to deal with scam callers? Have you ever tried to waste their time? Let us know in the comments below. Stay safe, stay calm, and see you next time. Goodbye.